Zombie games are everywhere, but only a few are actually worth your time. I'm talking about the ones with great gameplay, non-stop tension, and worlds that keep you on edge from start to finish. Here are the top 20 zombie horror games that are actually worth playing. Zombie Army 4: Dead War is a solid choice if you just want some pure zombie chaos. The game is set in a weird version of World War II where Nazi zombies have taken over Europe, and everything has gone completely off the rails. Most of your time is spent fighting huge groups of zombies. You're using rifles, explosives, traps, and whatever else you can find to stay alive. The combat feels fast and messy in a fun way. You can play solo, but it's really fun when you team up with friends and fight through missions together. There's also a lot of room to grow your character. You unlock new skills, upgrade weapons, and slowly build a loadout that fits your style. That makes each run feel a little different, even when the goals are simple. If you're looking for a zombie game that's easy to jump into and hard to put down, this one is definitely worth it.
Humanitarian agency they pretended to be. They didn't want a cure. They wanted a weapon. I managed to stop them, but in the process, I lost everyone I cared about. And then, I escaped Tehran and hid out in the countryside, where a strange cult had taken control. The Children of the Sun followed a religious leader they called the Mother. She did something to me. She changed me. Clinging to my last shred of humanity, I was hunted by the GRE for months, for years. Finally, they caught me, locked me in a cage like an animal. And then, the real horror began.
Dying Light the Beast feels like a return to what made the series so fun in the first place. It brings you back into a world that's already fallen apart, where staying alive is never simple, and the infection has clearly changed everything. Most of the game is about moving through dangerous areas, figuring out when to fight and when to run. During the day, things feel tense but manageable. At night, everything gets more stressful, and suddenly even simple trips feel risky. That shift alone keeps you paying attention. What really carries the experience is how physical it feels. You're climbing, jumping, and reacting on the fly instead of just standing still and shooting. Combat can get messy fast, and sometimes escaping is the smarter move. Dying Light the Beast isn't about slow pacing. It's about tension and surviving in a world that never gives you a break.
Don't you want to be reunited with the people you lost? Our homecoming will be truly divine.
There's still a way out for us. But we don't have much time.
Dead Space Remake is one of those games that proves some horror classics really don't age out. You're stuck on a spaceship where everything has gone wrong, and your main goal is just to survive and keep moving forward. What makes it fun is how the upgrade system works. Instead of finding new guns all the time, you mostly stick with a few tools and slowly make them stronger. You can upgrade damage, ammo capacity, and special abilities, so every improvement actually feels useful. Enemies don't go down easily, so you're always thinking about how to use what you have. Do you save ammo, go for upgrades, or try a different weapon setup? That small decision-making loop keeps things interesting without feeling complicated. The mix of survival, upgrades, and tense fights makes it easy to stay engaged, especially if you like horror games that reward smart play. World War Z is a fun zombie game if you just want non-stop action without overthinking things. You're dropped into different cities around the world, dealing with huge waves of zombies that come at you fast and don't stop. Most of the time, you're working with a team, watching each other's backs, and trying not to get overwhelmed. The zombies come in massive groups, climbing over each other and flooding the area, so things can go from calm to chaotic really quick. There are different classes to mess around with, and you can upgrade your weapons as you play. Nothing feels too complicated, but it gives you enough options to keep things interesting. World War Z is about surviving the chaos, shooting zombies, and getting through missions with your team. If you want a zombie game that's easy to jump into and hard to put down, this one's worth your time.
Stay calm.
Chronos: The New Dawn is a zombie horror game that feels a bit different from the usual shoot-and-run stuff. It takes place in a broken world where something went very wrong, and you're sent in to deal with the aftermath. One of the more interesting features is how enemies work. When you kill something, it doesn't always stay dead. If you leave bodies behind, other enemies can merge with them and come back stronger. Because of that, you're not just shooting zombies and moving on. You're constantly deciding whether to burn bodies, save resources, or risk things getting worse later. The upgrade system also keeps things interesting. You can improve your weapons to deal more damage, hold more ammo, or handle better in fights. These upgrades don't make you overpowered, but they definitely help you stay alive longer and handle tougher enemies. Dead Island 2 is a zombie game that's just easy to enjoy. It takes place in a quarantined version of Los Angeles where the outbreak has already gone wild, and you're one of the few people still standing. Combat is where the game really fun. You're using melee weapons most of the time, and you can upgrade them to hit harder or add different effects. Finding a weapon you like and slowly making it better feels good, and it keeps fights from getting boring. You also get to pick different characters, each with their own strengths, so you can play in a way that fits your style. Nothing feels too complicated, but there's enough variety to keep things fresh. Dead Island 2 isn't about scare, it's more about action, chaos, and fun. If you want a zombie game that's straightforward and entertaining without a lot of extra systems to learn, this one is worth your time. The Callisto Protocol is a horror game that's worth trying if you like survival challenges mixed with serious combat. It throws you into Black Iron Prison, where infected prisoners are turning into brutal monsters, and you have to find a way out while uncovering what caused the outbreak. Gameplay is a mix of melee and ranged fighting. You don't just shoot bullets, You dodge, time your strikes, and use tools up close. One cool feature is the GRP gadget, which lets you grab and throw enemies or objects into hazards, and it gets more powerful when you upgrade it. There's a solid upgrade system too. You can boost your melee weapons like the stun baton with heavier attacks and better damage, and make your guns more effective with things like burst fire or explosive rounds. You can even improve how the GRP works, so you can use it more often and with more impact.
I know who you are. I know what you did.
This whole prison's infected.
Can't keep running from what you've done.
Now let's go finish this.
Metro Exodus is a horror survival game that pulls you into a harsh, broken version of Russia where danger is everywhere. You leave the safety of the underground tunnels and travel across ruined cities, frozen wastelands, and creepy open areas, never really knowing what's waiting for you out there. The gameplay feels slow and tense. You explore, scavenge for supplies, and customize your weapons using parts you find in the world. Ammo is limited, so you're not just shooting everything that moves. Sometimes sneaking past threats is the smarter choice. Encounters can play out very differently depending on how you approach them. Sometimes sneaking past enemies is the smartest move. Other times you're forced into a fight. Mutated creatures, hostile humans, and the environment itself all feel dangerous in their own way.
When you get in too deep and realize no one gets a second chance.
How will you find the strength to carry on?
State of Decay 2 is one of those zombie survival games that feels way more than just running and shooting. You're part of a small group of survivors in a big, open world, and your job is to keep them alive as long as you can. The core loop is simple, but deep. Scavenge for food, weapons, and supplies, bring them back to your community, and decide how to use them. Running out of something important can hit you hard, so you're always thinking about what you need next. Each character in your group has different strengths and weaknesses, and they can gain experience as they survive. You can also upgrade your base, add new facilities, and unlock perks that help you deal with tougher situations later on. That sense of progress, even when the world feels hopeless, is a big part of why the game keeps pulling you back in.
My name is Caroline Walker. I came to this town to find help for my little sister, Anna. She does this thing where she draws terrifying images and somehow they become real. But it was all a trap, and now they've taken Anna.
Caroline! Are you there? They have me locked up in this horrible place. Please, help me.
What happened here?
This damn place can bring out the darkness in our hearts. You have no idea.
Tormented Souls 2 is a solid pick if you're into old-school survival horror. It brings back that classic feeling of being stuck in a creepy place with limited resources and no clear answers. You follow Caroline Walker again as she gets pulled into another disturbing situation while trying to save someone close to her. The gameplay leans heavily on exploration and puzzles. You're searching rooms, combining items, and figuring out how different areas connect. A lot of the time, progress comes from paying attention and thinking things through, not just fighting enemies. Combat is there, but it's not the main focus. Weapons feel rough and improvised, so every encounter matters. You also get some options to upgrade or tweak your gear. If you missed that old Resident Evil style experience where patience and problem solving matter, this one is definitely worth playing. Atomic Heart is one of those games that feels strange in a good way. It takes place in a messed up Soviet-style world where robots and experiments have completely gone wrong. You're sent in to fix the situation, but things fall apart pretty fast. The combat is where most of the fun is. You're using guns, melee weapons, and a special glove that gives you powers like freezing enemies or pulling things toward you. It's not just about shooting. You can mix up different attacks and play around with how you fight. You can also upgrade your weapons and abilities as you go. That means your gear slowly gets stronger, and you can adjust things to match your playstyle. Nothing feels too complicated, but it gives you enough freedom to keep things interesting. Atomic Heart isn't a pure horror game, but it definitely has some creepy moments. If you like action, weird enemies, and a world that feels completely out of control, this is one worth checking out.
And that's where men like you come in, Sergei. Men sworn to defend mankind and its destiny.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, drops you into a world where things can go bad really fast. You're exploring the Chernobyl exclusion zone, and it's full of dangerous people, strange creatures, and weird areas that can kill you if you're not careful. You get a lot of freedom in how you play. You can upgrade your weapons, tweak your gear, and pick how you want to handle fights. Sometimes it's better to sneak around. Sometimes you just have to shoot your way out. Either way, you can't just rush in without thinking. Exploring is a big part of the game. You'll find useful gear and rare items in risky places, but getting them usually means dealing with tough enemies or deadly hazards. Every trip feels like a gamble. Stalker 2 isn't about feeling powerful. It's about staying alert and surviving in a world that doesn't go easy on you. If you like horror games that feel tense, unpredictable, and a little stressful in a good way, this one's worth checking out.
But the zone couldn't be free unless he died.
He was not my enemy. I hope he has survived. Forgiven us.
We can get rid of the darkness that's imprisoning us, preventing us from hearing each other. Unfortunately, many of them have already left the zone, and if we do nothing, houses on the mainland will continue to burn and collapse.
I was attacked, just like your men. The scanner was stolen, and I'm looking for the scumbags who took it.
Farewell, Skiff. Forgive me for what we did. And must do again.
There is...
We accidentally made zombie livestock.
Humanity has proven itself to be quite adept at making mistakes.
You are nothing but a filthy animal!
Don't come any closer!
Those who reject salvation embrace ignorance.
The zombies were created by you, not us.
This is good meat, huh?
Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster starts in the middle of total chaos. A normal shopping mall turns into a zombie nightmare, and suddenly everything around you becomes a potential weapon. From the first few minutes, The game makes it clear that survival here is going to be messy and unpredictable. What makes it fun is how much freedom you get. You can run around the mall, rescue survivors, or just experiment with whatever items you find. Almost anything can be used to fight zombies, so every encounter feels different. The remaster also smooths out the experience. Controls feel better, saving is easier, and the game just feels more comfortable to play without losing its original vibe. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster isn't about being scary. It's about chaos, creativity, and having fun in a zombie-filled mall. If you want a game that lets you go wild and enjoy the madness, this one's worth your time.
Used Electros to modify his behavior. AP Bio really came in handy.
Holly, watch out!
Everywhere the mother goes, a river of blood follows. But she and I, we have one thing in common. Cross us, and we'll stop at nothing until we fuck you up. That was fire!
Back 4 Blood is the kind of game you load up when you just want some fast, chaotic action with friends. It throws you into missions full of infected enemies, and your main goal is simple: stick together and survive. The game really leans into teamwork. Everyone picks a character with their own perks, and you have to watch each other's backs if you want to make it through. Things can go from calm to crazy really fast once the hordes start coming. One of the cooler parts is the card system. Before each run, you choose cards that give you small boosts like more health, better stamina, or stronger weapons. It's easy to understand, but it keeps the gameplay feeling fresh. Back 4 Blood isn't about deep stories or slow pacing. It's about action, teamwork, and surviving the chaos. If you like co-op shooters with tons of infected enemies, this one's worth checking out. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is a solid pick if you want fast action and some of the most fun zombie modes in the series. The main game has a futuristic setting with advanced soldiers and crazy tech, but a lot of people come back for the zombies mode. Zombies in Black Ops 3 is all about surviving waves, unlocking new areas, and working together to stay alive. Each map has its own vibe, secrets, and challenges, so it doesn't feel repetitive. You can play solo or with friends, and every match feels a little different. You also get a bunch of weapons, perks, and special abilities to mess around with. As you play more, you learn better strategies, find hidden stuff, and push to survive longer each time. Black Ops 3 isn't really about story. It's about action, teamwork, and that one more round feeling. If you like zombie games that keep you coming back for more, this one is definitely worth your time.
Much of the real Taylor is left.
Please don't. You don't know what this will do.
I can feel it taking over. Not even my mind is safe.
Killing Floor 2 feels like stepping into a total mess, where survival is the only goal. There's no long intro or slow build-up. You're dropped into a fight, and it doesn't take long before everything starts going crazy. You and your team push through wave after wave of enemies, trying to stay alive as things get more intense. Between rounds, you restock, upgrade your weapons, and prepare for the next rush. The different classes keep the gameplay fresh. Whether you're healing teammates, blowing things up, or going for clean headshots, each role brings something useful to the team. And as you level up, you really feel the difference. Killing Floor 2 is all about action and teamwork. It's loud, fast, and doesn't waste your time. If you're into co-op shooters where things can go wild at any moment, this one is definitely worth playing.
Those things are all over the damn place. Are you trying to get out of here? Because you should be.
I know who you are.
You're a convicted killer.
You don't just end it because it's hard. You stick it out. You help the folks you care about.
We gotta go! You've got with you?
No! Don't touch them!
The Walking Dead Season 1 hits different from most zombie games. Instead of non-stop action, it pulls you into a quiet, emotional story about surviving when the world is falling apart. You follow a man named Lee, who ends up protecting a young girl named Clementine, and from the start, you can tell their journey isn't going to be easy. The gameplay is all about choices. You talk to people, make decisions, and deal with the consequences later. Sometimes it's about who you trust, other times it's about who you save. There's no perfect answer, and that's what makes it feel real. There isn't much combat here. Most of the tension comes from conversations, tough moments, and knowing that your choices actually matter. You're not just fighting zombies, you're dealing with people, fear, and loss. The Walking Dead Season 1 isn't loud or flashy. It's slow, emotional, and sticks with you. If you want a zombie game that feels more like a story you experience instead of just something you play, this one is definitely worth your time. The Evil Within 2 starts with Sebastian going back into a messed up world to look for his daughter, and things get bad pretty fast. What should have been a rescue mission turns into a fight to stay alive in a place where nothing feels normal or safe. Instead of pushing you down one straight path, the game lets you explore. You can search for supplies, sneak past enemies, or fight when you have to. Sometimes it's smarter to avoid trouble, especially when you're running low on ammo. You can also upgrade your skills and weapons along the way. Better health, stronger attacks, and improved stealth actually help you survive longer. Crafting ammo and healing items becomes part of the routine too. The Evil Within 2 isn't just about jump scares. It's about making smart choices, staying calm under pressure, and getting through a world that always feels one step away from falling apart.
Hello? Sebastian, are you there?
Lily?
Silent Hill 2 Remake begins with a strange letter that shouldn't even exist. James is told to come back to Silent Hill by his wife, even though she's been gone for years. That one detail already makes everything feel off in a quiet, unsettling way. The remake gives the game a more modern feel with smoother movement and a closer camera. Walking through the town feels more personal now, like you're right there with James as he explores empty streets and dark buildings. You never really know what's waiting around the corner. Combat is still slow and tense, ammo is limited, and fights don't feel easy. You can upgrade your weapons a bit, but the game never lets you feel completely safe. Most of the time, it's about surviving, not winning. Silent Hill 2 Remake isn't about fast action or loud scares. It's about atmosphere, mystery, and a story that sticks with you. If you enjoy horror games that focus on mood and emotion, this one is absolutely worth playing.
Don't leave me alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore.
Resident Evil 4 Remake throws you straight into a dangerous mission where nothing goes as planned. Leon is sent to a remote village to rescue the president's daughter, but it doesn't take long before things turn ugly, and the locals start acting very wrong. The gameplay feels more intense this time around. You're exploring creepy areas, managing your ammo, and dealing with enemies that don't go down easily. Combat is tighter, and every fight feels like it matters, especially when you're low on supplies. You can also upgrade your weapons through the merchant, making them stronger, faster, or more accurate. Deciding what to upgrade first actually changes how you play, whether you prefer close combat or keeping enemies at a distance. Resident Evil 4 Remake balances action and horror really well. It keeps the classic story, improves the gameplay, and adds enough tension to make every encounter feel exciting. If you want a horror game that's fun, intense, and easy to get into, this one is definitely worth your time.
I'm gonna get you home safe.
You can stop right there.
Ada, who are you? What are you doing here?
My faithful disciple will show her the path.
Ashley, run!
The entire world shall overflow with his grace.
What's happening to me?
Now, abandon your body.
Leave the girl. She's lost no matter what.
How that he has chosen death.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.